Good morning, everyone. This is Rose. Today is Wednesday, September 28th. It's 2 minutes after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so far we have pre-market Globex session. We hit a resistance here, and you can see that it's also an important level. So market stopped there a little bit, but you could see how strong the bulls have been. So I'm not sure if we're going to be selling, but for the second time, we might a little bit. Market could actually pull back down to 36.55 area if we get second try by bears. Somewhat in that area, there is breakout test area 36.65, 10 points above the actual pullback zone that I called. But right now, bulls are still trying to get above this area and possibly get back up to these highs, okay? But there is a gap here. So even if we furthermore go up somewhere around 36.86, 87 area, I think early sellers might be waiting right there. Even if we just go up a little bit, this area is all resistance at the moment. Okay, so I can actually measure that instead of here, but I wanted to show you guys where the first sellers were waiting. But really, it's not sellers, it's just that when bulls see this kind of resistance, they will pay themselves, so they will take some money off the market, and then we come down a little bit. So now they're trying to see if they can actually demolish this and go furthermore up. But there could be another try for bears to sell around here. So we're closer to the Globex size. We just made a new high there. We went above this resistance. You can see that we are stalling right here. Many bulls are stuck without bull close. So they might be trying to break even here. So I'm going to look to see how this bar is going to close on the 15-minute. And same on the 5-minute. So today, jam-packed. International Trading Goods report came out 8:30. Important news, and then retail inventories came out also exact same time, and the wholesale inventories same time. We have slew of Feds also speaking today. They began early, and James Bullard is scheduled to speak 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. Jerome Powell 10:15. So I'm going to be careful with bar 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it's gonna be rough today a little bit. So, and then more Feds continue to speak. The bulls are still trying to finish the trend at 40 point at 82.25 area, 82.25 area. So they're advancing, but be careful here. Like I said, we need a second sell. Levels like these, and the bears, I said they will try, and they are. So as soon as that bull bar just went up there, it just got slapped. Okay, so I'm waiting to see how they're going to close this bar. Is this going to be a double top sell? That bull bar at the moment, the pin bar, needs to close bearish. Okay, in order for bears to actually sell, at least try that 36.65, and then furthermore down. Possible pullback all the way to 36.55. So let's see if we can actually pull down to 65 area first. See if we can touch that 65. I'm going to scalp there. Yep, I just scalped. But it can continue to come down, especially if we do close a bear bar here. We could continue to pull back to 36.55.25 or 55.50 area. Sorry, I'm in a trade, so I'm going to get back to the RT8 chart in a minute. I just need to manage my trade. All right, so we're bouncing here because that was the target. We moved just about 15 points. Can we continue down? Sure, we might, but I need a good bear close here. So I'm looking for possible continuation as early as 59.25, but it can continue, like I said, or 58.25. EMA is target. See if we can continue this. I like to see bears really come down to the 36.55, but we'll see. That's it. That's good. Let's see if they can actually, so somewhere around, we could bounce somewhere around 57.25 to 55.25. Let's see if we can get continuation here. Wow. I mean, they filled me. Oh my goodness. I was way down there and they filled me, I think like 6 points away. Holy moly. Sorry about my excitement. That was really good. But, I mean, I've got filled so fast, so far away. My scalp target was just super far away. We ended up coming down to 56.75, and the price was all the way up around 64, and I was down there. How did that? Wow, that was something to watch. That was very cool. I love it when I get filled like 10 points away. That was very good. Now, okay, you can see that's the second entry short. This sell zone was very strong, and you can see why, because that was a pause area. That's basically these bears are adding to their positions right there to sell even furthermore down. So I expected for bulls to test that area and then sell. Now, we're so close to my target, which is 55.25. I mean, can they actually continue to sell into 36.49, 49.50, or maybe even 36.47 area? They can, but they need to first test and bounce at 55.25 and then close a bear bar underneath to continue to sell. So we're bouncing here because it's a breakout point also. So you can see right there. Small pause and a breakout. That's an inside bar, excuse me. My entry was right here. So basically, can you hear me? Okay. I put myself on mute for a second. I forgot that I unmuted myself. So basically, I was looking first before I enter my positions. I don't really look at where I can enter. That's not my goal. What I look for is where can I put my stop? Where would be a safest place and a small risk without going in with a wide stop? Because I want to keep the risk small. Right? The goal is to scalp a 5 initial points and then see if I can actually swing it to 15, 20 points. That's the goal. But I want to do it with the smallest risk possible. So once we got in here, okay, I know this is a sell zone. Look how strong we're coming in. Immediately we stop. That is strong. Look where the bear bar actually opened, right where the bull bar closed. And I'm also seeing 1, 2, 3 wedge. Okay, so 3 push top. Or you can also take it from there, right, with a overshoot into my resistance, right? So there's also 1 here, 1, 2, 3, right? So I have right there and a double top, higher high double top. So I'm thinking I don't want to jump in with the first sell underneath this bear bar right there, okay? So I need to wait to see because there's such velocity into this area, I don't know if they're going to demolish this and go further up. They could, but that bar did not get continuation bear bar. It actually gotten that bull bar. When you get that bull bar, I kind of know that we're going to go back up to rescue these guys who got stuck here with that bull bar. Okay, close. There were buyers, obviously, one tick above. You see that? Wick going up, and then that bar closing down here. So basically that right there tells me a ton of bulls got stuck there, and market is going to go back up and rescue them. Now, if I sell underneath here, I'm going to be sitting in this pullback. So I could wait. So what I could do is, as price goes up, okay, I can put a sell stop order and trail it up. So I trailed it up there, and then I started to sell. And I really wanted price to go down to 55.25, but I was ready to take profit at around 65.25, and then somewhere around 57.50 area. So I mean, it just filled me so fast. I scalped up 1 or 2 points, and then the rest was just filled so fast. So my stop was right here. That was a good stop. And even if it just went back up, and if this bar didn't close bearish, I would have probably gotten out, but it would be a small risk. Now, say you sold this bar instead. You still made money. You see this? This is your second entry, first entry, second entry. The only problem is that you're selling a little bit late, and you're selling into this bull gap. So you know that before that bull gap, we had a breakout point. That's probably the target. That's why I said 57.50 area. I would probably look to exit. And so if you actually sold right there to close or one tick below, I mentioned from the close, market gave you 7 points an extra tick. So if you actually entered one tick under, you got a 6 point scalp, an extra tick. That's pretty good. That's very good, in my opinion. I got a lot more than that, but the goal was where can I put my stop that would be close by, because it's before the open. I know this is going to come down. Bears are already telling me that they could sell the second entry. They will. These kind of zones, okay, these sell zones, these kind of resistance areas or support areas, they generally get 2 tries, and the second one ends up being the most strongest one. All right, so let's see. Let me make my notes here. I have to log in this trade. Give me a second. I was underneath that bull bar. So I was also looking for, I measured from here, I was looking for 15 point to 20 point run. So here's my 20 point run right there. So I kind of knew that it was going to come down because I don't have ATR here, but let me put the ATR here. You can see the ATR is over 5 points. And right around that, I think it was right around here, it was 9 points. You kind of know that the market is going to get to the 20 point. I mean, the half of the bar is like 10 points nearly. So it was going to be fast. Anyway, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. We gapped up, but since Friday, hold on, wait a minute, this is Friday. Yeah. So this was Tuesday, Monday, Friday. So since Friday, we've been in a trading range. And we opened gap up, and I explained that if you take your trading range, divide it into 3 sections, okay? We're at the top of, okay, so this is the first section, the middle, and the bottom section. This is a sell zone. This is a buy zone. I don't generally do much here. I generally scalp around here. And or you could put a 50% area if you're scalping, or you sold here, you want to take some money off the table because it's probably going to bounce at the 50% of this trading range. We opened up at the top of the trading range, and I said, I think the bar was actually extremely bearish at that time. I told you guys, don't sell this because we are not going to close this gap. Okay, so when you're in a trading range, remember what Tom said the other day. I don't know if you guys, Tom Hugard, I don't know if you guys paid any attention to that. You can rewatch, it was towards the middle. He's an institutional trader, and sometimes you gotta listen to institutional traders, or if they have institutional backgrounds, because they can hint to things that can change the way you trade. Market makers tend to extend the trading ranges. Okay, so once I see that trading range, I'm thinking there's no need to sell here. We have a trading range highs there. They're probably going to look to sell at the high. So I started to immediately think, I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to target the high of yesterday, and I'm going to take profit there, and I don't care if the price goes above high of yesterday. My cutoff point is high of yesterday, because they sold there, and they couldn't even go up and test it the next day. We could not get to that high. So it tells me the trading range top is right here, okay? But I need to pay more attention to that top than anything else. And so the market makers are extending this trading range because they know if they sell here, they're going to have more space to sell back down here, okay? So I told you guys, take profit at the high of yesterday. There's possibility that the bulls can get stuck right above it, maybe a point and a couple of ticks, maybe a couple of ticks. We ended up going 2 points an extra tick above the high of yesterday, and we could not close the bull bar, and then the bulls got trapped there. And you have a okay sell signal bar. That's an okay bar 3, but it's not the best. Okay, so I prefer body is to be up there. So it should have been like this, maybe. That would have been a lot better, but it doesn't matter. They sold anyway. So that's your sell signal bar. You can sell 1 tick under with a stop above. That would be your small risk entry. So basically, you're looking for a 1-to-1, possibly 2-to-1, and 3-to-1. So if I actually measure, so here's my 1-to-1, 2-to-1, and 3-to-1. We could not close a bear bar at the 3.5 risk reward. So that means we're not going to continue into, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4-to-1. Okay, so we're not going to continue into 4-to-1. Once you see that bull bar, if you have not taken profit here or you haven't scalped, and if, say you scalped here at the 3-to-1, your stop is there, you move that stop down here, you took profit, but you're hoping that the price, your runner, okay, is going to go down here. Now, you see this bull bar? Don't let that stop hit. Just take profit, just hit close, because a bar like this, it's an inside bar. That right there is early trap. Okay, so, but really, it's not that anyone's buying. It's that these bears with 2-legged move down to the EMA, kind of taking profit, okay, at that support area. This was a support that this was resistance that turned into support. Chances are the first touch, there are buyers waiting there. So buyers first look to see if the bears are going to take any profit. You see that 3.5 right here, risk reward? It never, okay, I mean, it might have been touched, but we never got any kind of bear close. I see this. This is an inside bar. Bulls are getting trapped fast. And here's another reason why you need to get out. You just get out. So once I got out, I immediately jumped in and I bought it. I bought again, and then I scalped right here. So this is a sell zone. This bar right here, this bull bar. I know we're gonna go inside maybe 50%. Maybe we could test the top. If we were to close a bull bar above it, we would go and test the highs again. We never did. So here is your So first sell, maybe this is the second sell. Okay. There's also, I said, look, this was a small pullback bull trend. Seems like it. It's nice, but we really need to close above that bar to get back up here. Okay. So I want to see only one bear bars and no continuation. I don't want to see any second legs, none of that. Now the bear bars are pretty big. These are pullback bars. They're pretty big. And bull started, but where is the second? That is a bull bar, actually. That is a bull body, but it's a very weak second consecutive bar. Then we continued, but the pullback is too big. Okay, so then I said, I think we have a wedge here. We got to watch out here. And I show some examples that what a small pullback bull trend looks like, and then another one that actually doesn't really look like one. So I said, be careful. If bears actually start to sell this wedge, okay, so what you're doing is basically looking to see if the bears are going to get stuck somewhere here and bulls are going to resume that small pullback bull trend. You see that line that I just drew? I'm basically taking the range of this last bar in the wedge, okay? So the last push bar, bullish bar. And if I sell here, you got to make sure, okay, that your stop is somewhere here, but you also have to expect and anticipate that we're going to test this area one more time, okay, before we sell. Sometimes if bull trend wants to resume, okay, its direction, what they do is they actually close the bar way inside the 50%, and when they start to close above that, this wedge is done. It's basically invalidated, and it's no longer reversing. So we're going to continue. I look for new wedges. So at this time, I didn't see it. All I saw was, okay, if bulls really want to resume this, they're going to have to close somewhere in here and then maybe get closer to the top. That didn't happen. Look what happened. We just went back and retest, and then another sell signal bar. Now at this point, I said I'm done with bulls because this is becoming a bear flag above the EMA, and chances are we're going to get a measured move down. So I said this right here, this combo, one of the only fancy VAR combos that I use, I call it a stick sandwich. Basically, there are two types of stick sandwiches, okay? So think about it. This is the bread and this is the meat, right? So if two bear bars sandwiching or a bull bar, okay, basically that's trap right there, all right? So it's most likely to sell. Now, if it's two bull bars sandwiching some kind of a bear bar, okay, that's a trap for bears. We're probably going to go break out to the upside. It's not the most cleanest IOI, okay? So you're not going to get IOIs, a lot often, but what you're going to get is this, okay? So always pay attention to those, and that was really good. So I said this is right here, the first entry and a second entry right there. So I think I trailed my sell stop order, and I might have gotten filled right there. So, and then I said we might get a measured move target or a bigger measured move target, okay, to downside. So I kept calculating the the amount of sell. So that's a 20 point right there. We had a 40 point and a bounce, so these bears started to take profit. Then I said if we actually close around 41.75, okay, right there, a bear bar, that is your bar right there. So I would start the count again yet for another 40 point move. We didn't come down 40 point, but this is pretty significant to me, okay. That's it, that's a 40 point. So here's 10 point, 15 point, 20 point, anything more than 20 point, your runner is running towards the 40 point zone. So that was really good. But then we ended up, then Brad came in, and he kept us in this bear move down, because I don't know if you guys, I'm trying to get rid of this, I don't know if you guys actually watched him. You can rewatch the replay. He kind of said that we're going to test these lows, okay, so the June lows that we're going to come down and test. So we kept looking for some kind of exhaustion bar. This looked like an exhaustion bar, but then it closed like that with a lower wick. I said, okay, that's not the real exhaustion bar, so let's look for another one. We got it. So it was bar 34. It's the biggest bear body since this trend down, okay? If you actually measure, there is no bear body as big as bar 34, right? So, and it was also, let me see, from that low to there was just about, it's not really totally 20 points. I don't like it when they come down that much and then try to buy. It generally doesn't reverse that much. I would generally look for 5 to 10 point, okay, dip and then go. But when it goes around 20 points like this, I'm pretty sure that we're going to go sideways, at least for a while. And they did come down almost 20 points, but eventually they did. Look at that, right? So that's a little bit more than 20 points. So bears are in charge of the market. So we got stuck in this, but look what's happening, right? So you have one pullback, maybe two, another one, and then another pullback in the third. There's some kind of a wedge here. Bears are trying to get another bear flag there, but you can see it's activated there, it's activated here. Then we make a lower high, so they keep pushing. The only problem here is that when we break out, look, we failed to break out here. That's one. We never broke that low, and then we went up. Then we tried to break out. This was a breakout, but it failed. Bar 51 failed. Then bears tried again. It failed again, right? So why is this happening? Well, because these bears who sold got stuck there. So if you listen, Brad, he was saying that we're going to come down and rescue those. We're going to give them a chance to break even. Now, bears tried selling. Maybe when they sold for the second time, they really wanted to make some money with that contract. So eventually they did. So they never lost money. They actually ended up walking away from this market profitable because they breached the low where they originally sold. But then, again, no continuation bear bars. But really, I got my signal here. You see this? Look at the 15-minute chart. Okay? I saw traps here. Look at this right here. Inside bar. That right there is confusion. Okay? We're at the lows, and bears are trying to break these lows. That's a confusion. That bar should have closed down here with a bear body. First sign that bears might be confused, okay, or they're taking profit. I don't know what they're doing, but that to me is sign of a trap. I expected them to continue a little bit, but again, no bear bar underneath that low closing. Trap number two. Now I'm looking for failure to close a bear bar and failure to continue, and I'm looking for actual trap. Look at that. Trap at the new low and a bull close. To me, that's high one. To me, this is high two. So everybody started to buy one tick above that bull bar, okay? Then I said, all right, we've got this bar, which is really weird, but I don't care. I'm still long, and my stop is here. If they get another bear bar that closes down here, I'm not going to hit that stop. I'm not going to let that stop hit, and I'm going to exit out because it could still go down. But once that bear body closed there, I know right underneath that bear body, limit order buyers are going to enter. I entered with a stop order one tick ago in a limit order market, which is not very smart. I instantly regretted it when this closed bearish. Then I start to see, okay, so bulls are not letting go. They're coming in the market slowly. I bought with a stop order, and I'm disappointed. Most likely now, underneath this bar, there are limit order buyers waiting, maybe 1 point, 2 point, but they're there. Once this bar closed, I bought it again. Now I'm long. I'm making money. we are hitting this gap area, okay, from this high to that low, and everybody took profit there. This came down, which was really annoying, but again, no continuation, and bulls are still buying. Look, another bear bar, another inside bar, another failure. You see these 2 bars on the 15-minute? So I kind of knew then, okay, we're going to go up. So I kept posting charts in the Discord, telling people where to take profits. I really wanted them to go a little bit further up before the market closed, but listen, you know, you can't assume market is going to do what you want it to. You just scalp and pay yourself. All right, so this is where on the 5 minutes, same thing happening. We're trapping the bears here, a bunch of inside bars, 2 dojis. When I see 2 dojis side by side, okay, I kind of look for reversals. Another reason to jump in and buy right there, okay? Or if you're counting from the bottoms, absolute bottoms, we made a new low here. So that's your first entry long, and that is your second entry long, and this is a slingshot. So that was, I was in it, and I took profit. That was very good, but then I started selling a little bit. I didn't like that they didn't go further up. I really wanted market to come up and test this, maybe 50% in there, and possibly rally to the 1 hour EMA, but that never happened. So you got to get out some point. And the way that I know how to get out is this. You see, and you probably heard Brad say, said this several times. I've heard Al explain, when the bulls actually start to take profit, okay? 2 things. So you got a bull bar, okay, pretty strong, and the market is going up, and suddenly you get a bear bar, closes right there, okay, that right there. And then maybe body actually closed below its midpoint. So that makes it bearish at the same level right there. So chances are that's profit taking began very quickly. This one actually opened way low. Look at that. That told me right there, profit taking is serious here. These bulls are getting out already, okay? And then once this bar closed, it closed way below its low. Look at that tiny little wick. I said this is going to get a second leg down, and they did actually. So I started to sell and take profit at the EMA, and that was it for me. So, and I kind of didn't want to do anything the rest of the day. But I did call the bull flag. There was a bull flag, wedge bull flag, right? 1, 2, 3, 1 or 1, 2, 3. So you got a wedge bull flag, and beautiful signal right there. There will be buyers 1 tick above that, even though it's a bear bar. They're going to buy it, or they're going to buy above that bar, but they're going to buy. Now the goal is to get up to this high, but someone in the Discord alerted us saying that, oh, there's a ledge. I had to zoom in to see it, and it was right there. So basically, before you expect this bull flag to actually go up here, you better take profit 1 tick above, okay? Because market could just go 1 tick above and then fail and come back down. So that's the area that I started to pay attention. I did buy, but it was I think I bought somewhere here, I entered. So it was a very short amount of scalp, but I got out immediately above that ledge because the objective is this is unfinished auction. So market is trying to finish that auction. So it can do 2 things. It can either sell once it finishes, or it continues up. But to me, I don't take that kind of risk. I did not care for the highs anymore because this was too much down, too big of a pullback. So I took profit there and I got out. And I'm glad I did. And I'm really glad that the person who actually mentioned that ledge, I forgot the name of the person, but I really appreciate that you did that. So anywho, we opened yet again inside, okay, let me mark that, inside a trading range. Okay. Now the trading range actually goes, I'm going to put some, it's kind of a channel, but it really is trading range Or you could say, well, this looks like a channel, Rose. Well, that's fine. Maybe you can take that as your channel. We overshot it a little bit. Or can I take this? Well, look where we are. Keep testing this highs, channel highs, right? And not being able to break out. But now we might, because it's kind of rotating. See that? This was a big channel down. Now I have a channel angle, a smaller channel angle within. It's now going sideways rather than selling. So it might be actually rotating up, and we could end up coming back up here. Maybe these highs, test these highs. So there is a resistance here. Okay. If the bulls finally break out of this channel, that seems to be rotating with a smaller channel, they're going to first try this area. There might be some sellers. So 1 hour EMA becomes magnet. But if we start to get above, this is where we might end up going. And then if we do overshoot, this right here is resistance. Okay. So bulls got targets there. Now, if we get rejection, then we could end up selling all the way down here. Now we have open space. Look at this open space. This is trouble for bulls, right? So because this goes all the way down to the pandemic high. So I think Brad looked at it and calculated as like a 400 points drop. That would be really catastrophic. I mean, I hope we don't get that. But with what's happening in the world with UK economy, and they're canceling apparently their financial, I don't know, meetings and such. So they have a new king, they have a new PM. Russia is, I don't know if Russia, I shouldn't say Russia, but someone's sabotaging the gas pipeline for all these countries over there. Now suffering. So there's a lot going on in Europe, UK and London, and UK and Europe. I forgot that UK is no longer EU. But that can affect everybody. Now, can it affect us? We have our own problems here, so I'm not even going to get into that. So all I know is that I'm a technical trader. Fundamentals, I do have to pay attention at some point what's happening in the world, you know. But this right here, this void, this kind of scares me, okay? So I'm going to take a look at the monthly chart. Okay, so we already breached below my daily chart level, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this. We're trying to get back above it. We no longer need this, but you kind of got the idea why we would come down further. That was always a magnet, that green area. Now, I found a new magnet area of interest a couple of days ago, right here, okay? So can we keep selling into this moving average? Yes, but this is what I'm interested. This is the monthly, okay? We do have a wedge here, up, down, up, down, up, down. So we do have a wedge here, but we know either the second push or the third push will overshoot. So we might look like going up, but we could still continue to sell. And this month, we're coming towards the end of the month. Now, I don't know if we can sell 200 points. It's not really 200 points. It's actually 100 and, let me see, 170 points maybe, or less. Okay, so it's not that much for a monthly chart to sell. So this area and the measured move target down is still, I mean, it's kind of looming. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we might. Now, can this happen next couple of days? Well, we need a catalyst, and that catalyst could be Jerome Powell today. We have consumer sentiment and Chicago PMI coming up on Friday. Personal income and outlays on Friday, 8:30. So, yeah, who knows? But the bulls want to use this wedge. We have another wedge on the weekly. And use this area of support and go back up, okay, to this level right here. possibly. But when we're closer to a moving average like that, I am a little bit worried, and I don't know if I want to buy, to be honest with you. So I'm going to stick to my 1 hour chart and 15-minute chart setups. And I'm going to get rid of these channels, but I just wanted to show you guys, if we do start to sell, if we break right here, the bottom of this rotating channel, that we become bearish again. And this is where I would want to see bears come down. So that would be 3,600 to 3,580 area. Okay, we could drop. And for bulls, we're trying to get back up here. So we're trying to make a decision. So now watch this. There's 1, 2, 3 wedge. So if we do go up here, we might get a wedge. And can we reverse? Possible. I'm going to pay attention to that yesterday's low. And if we do break that yesterday's low, I'm going to get my measured move targets, maybe even bigger measured move targets to the downside. So you guys kind of got the idea what I was seeing there. There's another wedge here, 1, pullback 2, pullback 3. Okay, so nested wedges. Bears already trying to sell. But it might be too early. Might be just tad little early. Let's see how they close that bar. We could still go up here and test this area. Let's see, what do we got? Bar 1. We're in a trading range, in this trading range. Bar 1, a bear bar, no follow through. Bar 3 is now, we have 3 bars overlapping at the open. And the reason why a bar is selling is that you're buying against that trading range high. Machines see that and they're going to sell that instead. So you might expect some kind of breakout there, but first you have to be ready that machines will try to sell it. So don't go against them. Don't buy that close. It's very dangerous when you're in a trading range. Just wait for them to sell. And if there are no other sellers, they could close this bar all the way up here. Then you can look for a breakout. But at this point, you're stuck and you're upset. And you would end up probably buying at the 50% or 33% down here to break even, hoping that this would go up and you can break even. But you could end up coming down with a couple of bear bars. So at least just wait. I just need to respond to someone here. Hang on a minute. Okay. All right, see what happened there? So they try to sell machines, and somewhere here at the 50% area, buyers jumped in again. And now, that's why I said, I wouldn't sell this yet, but I also wouldn't buy that bar. Sentiment-wise, I would not have sold it. But if I'm scalping, okay, I would have been inclined to sell right here and grab a couple of points because I know the machines are going to sell that anyway. But is it worth doing? I don't know. If you're scalping and you want to grab a couple of points, sure, with a couple of contracts, okay, but you do have to take profit towards the 50% of that bar. So they sold it and it bounced again with the 50%. Those who might actually entered above or around there, I don't know. One point, I think the bar was not even up here, but these bulls might have gotten out. But eventually, I waited for this area to be tested. Now, I don't know if I actually, see, I made a mistake there. See that bar 24? Should have gotten that low too. So we tested the zone. Not much of a space there. If bar 4 does not get continuation, we could continue to go up and test the 1 hour EMA there. And now look at the hourly chart, right? So we have a trap here for bears. Buyers were one tick above that. They bought it. And inside bar, okay? So I don't think bears are going to sell this because it's not a bear bar. It's an inside bar. And it's a bull bar, and it closed on towards its high. So there are probably buyers there as well. And they're trying to get to here, and they're probably trying to get to the EMA. So this tells me we could continue to go up. but we're getting very close to the bar 7, 8, and Jerome Powell will begin his speech. So if you are in a long here, try to take profit around 78.50, 36.78.50 or 78.25, and then leave a runner, okay, towards your 1 hour EMA. We might go actually test if this jumps, test 84, 36.84, a little bit above the EMA. Actually, sorry, that's down here. 84 is right here, just above where the EMA is. We might just test around here. I'm saying maybe 85 at best. But I would pay myself around 36.78.25 or 50 area and then leave a runner to see where it's going to go. Open of the week is at 92.25. Hold on, let me test something. That's 16. That's good. I think we have open of the week. Well, let me check. That was Friday. Yeah. It's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Let me add that on the chart. You mean this resistance or this right here? Bar 24? Well, it's the wick. Where was the actual breakout? Bar 29 is your breakout bar, isn't it? And that's the structure lows. That's the breakout low. So I'm just adding that. You don't have to. You can just take this bar 25 range as your guidance. We hit that anyway, so either or. So originally that's the one that I measured, but you can, machines will pay attention to that because it's a breakout point, actual breakout point with bar 29, either or. So let's take that instead. So we test it anyway. All right, so we did not really test this 78.25. We end up coming very close to it, but bulls, if they do close this bar on its side, they will probably going to continue to that level, 78.50, up to the EMA, possibly. Can they fail and this could sell? I want to see how this bar 5 is going to close. They're already selling because they kind of tagged the area. Sell orders are there, 1 point below, right at the edge. But I'm waiting for how this bar is going to close, and I want to see that. Because if bulls, okay, so bulls really couldn't close it on its midpoint. But I don't want to sell it. It's not a good sell signal bar. It's, you know, I am not really interested in. Because if I'm counting bars from the highs, I kind of need a second entry sell. Because the bulls can get a high one and just go up. Don't want to be stuck in that. When you're in a trading range or limit orders, I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, I don't need them anymore. When you're in a trading range and you get a big bull bar and you're expecting a breakout, remember, you're in a limit order market. There are always sellers above things, okay? Things are maybe the top of the trading range, top of the certain bars, okay? Maybe a couple of points above. So you can't really assume that a limit order market will turn into a stop order market very quickly. You can't assume that. So if you're looking for a breakout, then wait for high 1, high 2, maybe good buy signal bars. Because if bears are going to sell this, they're also going to give you a second entry sell signal bar. I don't have it, okay? They already sold above this trading range at the resistance, but they're having a hard time selling. So I can't really buy it either. There's nothing there yet. if I haven't entered, because this could come down to the EMA and I don't want to be stuck in that. Now, the only thing that I'm interested in, if I want to go long, it's this pin bar, okay, on the 15-minute chart. Now, we came down and tested the 50% of that, and the limit order buyers showed up, okay? So now, I want to see how they're going to close this bar in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. If it closes bullish, then we have, okay, maybe possibly high 1 and high 2, or high 1. You got a nice inside bar here, but is this a trap for bulls? Did the bulls just got trapped here? But where is the bear bar? If bulls were the trap here, then this should have been a bear bar. Since it's not, the bulls are trying to get up to the Globex high and make a new high. So they might end up going actually there. Sorry. But we'll see. If they do close a bear bar suddenly, last second, then I'm going to look to sell from these highs because I see a wedge, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Bears are looking for some kind of swing entry at the highs with maybe a double top, but I need a signal bar. I don't see it. So I think the bulls are trying to get to the 78.50 and above. So if I'm going to do one thing, I'm either flat or I'm long, and I'm thinking maybe the magnets we can hit, but this resistance is bothering me, so I'm flat. So I found reasons to stay flat. Since it's a limit order market, it's better to buy or enter with a limit order market. So if I'm still going to want to go long, then I want to see a pullback and maybe enter close to the EMA and scalp a couple of points and see if it actually goes back up with my runner. Or I'm going to look for a good bull close. Since I don't see it, not interested. Now, what can the bears do? Well, we could end up coming down to 62.25. But so far, bar 5 and 6 are bull closes. They're kind of stacking up now. So if the bulls actually close this bar 7 on its high, they're kind of trying to build the momentum to get to the 1-hour EMA or to these highs, break above the Globex high. We have news just came out. Okay. So I said, if I'm going to be one thing, I'm either flat or I want to go long. I didn't see a pullback. They were building momentum. That's momentum building right there. And leg 1, pullback leg 2. So there we are, going up to that target. That's why I did not want to sell. But I wasn't so sure about these upper wicks. And you got inside bar here, and it just breaks out. And there we are, very close to my target. So daily bar is a pin bar. It's gonna do it has to do a lot better, and maybe if we do close the bar up here, that could really upset bears, I think, but I don't know. Could this be another wedge? Yes, 1, 2, 3. In fact, we are breaking above. There was a wedge, 1, 2, 3. We came down and we broke above it, so the count probably began here. Now, some machines sold this 1, 2, and 3 and tried to sell with 2 legs, but they got trapped with that pin bar, okay? And so this was the wedge top. They tried to sell with second leg, and they got trapped, and then the 50% limit order buyers jumped in, and that's when I said, I think we're going to keep going up. There's no need to sell this. Now, because we have such a big breakout, so the count began here, 1, 2, 3. We just made the third push top. Now, can I sell this? Well, I want to wait for this bar to close now. So they're trying to come down to, there's a small spike, pull back and channel. They're trying to test the bar 4 low, and that happens to be the EMA. So when you have a spike, pull back, and a small channel, and you test the channel high, so bar 4 is your pullback bar, we might end up coming down and test it, and we could bounce yet again. So the resistance area is holding, so it was accurate. And we failed to test the 1 hour EMA, couple of ticks. If they do close this bar bearish, we might even test below bar 4 because there is an area of interest right there. You see that? Right there. We might pull here and then bounce. But to me, bar 4 wick and bar 4 low is where I think the market might want to test. I don't know. They're going to have to close this bar like this to come down further. It has to be either smaller bull body or bear body. So this right here is area of interest for me. We could pull in there. It's possible. But let me do a better job there. That's it. Take that. So I said either you're flat or long, and we failed. Bulls just failed to finish the objective. Spike pullback channel. Bulls are taking profit. I don't know where this bar is going to close. If it closes like that, it has to be at least a bear body to continue down. Better if that body closes right here in 10 seconds. Then it would get continuation into the bar 4 lows. But they couldn't close it really strong. Can this continue down? It's basically an outside down bar. It's high, it's higher than, it's engulfing a bunch of bars, and its low is lower than the prior bar. So can this come down? Sure. This is still the target, but I don't like the way the bar 7 closed. It's the news bar now, okay? It just went up so quick and came down pretty quick. So I'm going to see what they're going to do at the bar 4 lows. That seems to be the target. Or close of yesterday. About 3 bars I wait. 15 minutes is sufficient for me to get market to return to regular conditions. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we just test very close to the bar 4 low, but that's not what I wanted. I really wanted price to come down and test 62.70. Hold on a minute. Yep, 62.75. There's still time. But we have also a little bit more room, maybe? No. That will be below the EMA. So I'm still expecting for market to test at least bar 4 lows. If they do close this bar bullish, then I'm no longer interested. If they're okay with this pullback, then that's fine. Because if this bar closes bullish, we might end up getting another run up if bulls want to fill that wick. But at this point, just wait. This bar is still going. It hasn't closed. So bar 4 lows is still the target. And continuation into the area of interest. Buyers might be at the EMA also. Now look at the EMAs, 2 EMAs, the 1 hour EMA and the 20 EMA from the 5-minute. Okay, they are kind of parallel to one another. Okay, so bulls might buy the bull closes underneath the 5-minute 20 EMA and sell the bear. Buy the bull close and sell the. Buy the bear closes and sell the bull closes above the EMA. So you see how they're going parallel, and they're buying these strong bear closes and they're selling the bull closes like that, or like that, bar 77 and bar 3, because it's basically a trading range. Okay, so we tested below bar 4, and then we just tested my area of interest to the tick right at the edge, but the bar hasn't closed. We could continue to come into the midpoint of this area. It's possible. Now, could this be a wedge? Yes. Again, 1, 2, 3 maybe right there, or 1, 2, 3, same thing. Can we go back up and test this right here? Yes. And then I would look for another sell entry. Bears can continue this selling. Okay, so we are testing the midpoint. If we do break this area, we could continue to sell. There's another one right here. Okay. Right around, I'm going to take this whole area, I'm going to take it. Yeah, so if we do continue to sell, just about, I guess. Yeah. So we could sell into this area, maybe 36.52. But we're bouncing there because it's a balance zone, okay? If we do break it, then we end up coming down here. Now I need another bear bar, okay, closing down here for continuation. So I don't want this bar to close bullish. If it closes last second bearish, we can continue to sell. There's a midpoint right here. That could be an interest for bears right there, bar 74 low. But I need to see this bar 9 bear close, not a bull close. Because these area of interest, when you test, it'll bounce. And it's bouncing now. For bears, if they take over the market, we can end up coming down to 36.50.25, 42.75. I would be more interested in all the way going down to 36.20.50, 36.20.50, just around at 36.21, which is all the way down here. And that's where my channel was, right? So that big channel midpoint, I think. So right now we're in a limit order market. We're testing a balance zone epicenter. I need another bear bar, preferably closing very closer to the bar 8 lows. That would be continuation. And another reason why bar 9 is bouncing, other than all these areas of balance zones, whatnot, I said that we're going parallel, okay? Bar 8 is a qualifying, very strong bear close. So the machines will buy it regardless, just like I explained here. Okay, so that's another reason why we're bouncing. It's limit order market. We have a double bottom now. You could see, right here. So can actually bulls take this and start to go up? Well, we do have some kind of a cup here, okay? Maybe cup, handle. Now, we need this double top, okay, to be broken with a bull bar if we want to keep going up. All right, so we need this structure highs are here. We failed to break out here. You could see that there's no bull bar closing. Bulls need that bull bar. Otherwise, bears are looking for a wedge bear flag, okay? And they want to have a lower high and sell it down to those levels that I talked about. So bulls need to break above these double tops, bigger cup and a smaller cup. So it's a little bit difficult because it's the news hour. Powell is speaking. We don't have a direction yet. So I'm not quick to buy or sell. Again, why is this bar 10 coming down? We've got a really nice bar 9. Well, look at the lines. These lines are now closing the gap. They're still going parallel to one another, just like the machines bought something that is so bearish. Now they sold something that is so bullish above the EMA, which I told you guys that they would do it. So this to me is very difficult to trade. I'm going to stay out of this. We're coming back second time into this area, and I said generally these area of interest gets tested twice. Now, if bulls actually do close this bar finally bullish, we could just go right back up again. See how they tested for the second time now? But let's wait for this bar to close. I mean, bears can bring price very quickly to 36.50 and a little bit below, maybe 36.45 area, 45 to 50 area. If they do close this bar bearish, we would end up with a 6 sandwich. What does that mean? Well, you got an outside, you got an inside. Now you have OII, right? So 2 inside bars followed right after bar 8. Bar 8 is your outside bar. If they do close this bar bullish, can they go further up? The body has to be really nice bull bar. I'm going to decide on that at the end of the 2 minutes. So there's a channel here. There's a bullish channel also. Could there be sellers at the high of bar 9? They kind of did. I mean, they sold already. But depending on how this bar closes, bulls might enter here. So I don't know if bear is able to close this bar with a really strong bear body, we could continue to come down. If bulls close it bullish, then we might go up. 36.75 would be a scalp point for bulls, and then we would look for bars getting above it since ATR is over. Wow, it was 13 and it ended up coming down very quickly. All right, so they did close the bar. Again, this could be building some momentum. Look at bar 9 and 10, okay, the way that it closed. Bulls are going to my scalp target at 36.75. See if they can actually tag it. We need, again, a bull body close strong to break this double top, okay? So then we would get a measured move target up. Open of the week is right here. So I'm no longer interested in this. See how that area held, which is really nice, but it's not that strong. Okay, we came very close to my target, 75, 1 tick close. So that was a front run, but we should test it very quickly. There shouldn't be any issue. Bulls are trying to close above 36.75 to go further up the 79 to 81 area. All right, target met. And they immediately scalped it. So if you actually, we just went one tick above. No, we just literally tagged it. We didn't even go one tick above. So that was accurate. Oh, did we go? One tick above? Oh, yeah, we did. So everybody got filled there. So that's good. That's even better. I mean, gap's always a play, right? So gap's always an important. Market is going up, but it's not really going up really strongly, right? So it made a double bottom. Now it's trying to find some momentum and fill these wick gaps and then go up to these magnets. Now, around those magnets, if you're seeing certain things happen, such as these structures broke down, right, with bear bars, with gaps, there's sellers waiting there. So open of the week is not only a magnet, but it's smack in the middle of that gap area. So yes, you have to pay attention. Maybe as price gets there, you pay yourself, right? So if you want to leave a runner to see if the bulls are actually going to close those gaps, that's fine. But right around here, that right there, we might just go up and then not able to close the bull body, and we could come down. Again, we're making another wedge here, possibly. Okay? Or, yeah, because this is such a big, large breakout, so count probably start a reset here. So 1, pull back, 2. We might end up going up and overshoot it. So my next target was 81, 36.81. See if I can scalp that. I'm one tick below that. It's gotten very close, but it didn't really give me the full target. It can continue to go up to 85, 36.85. Okay, I just got filled. 81 hit. So now bulls are trying to continue higher. That second entry was great. The second test of this balance zone did it. So you could have just bought right here. Okay, even though machines try to sell above bar 9, but they closed a bull bar. Okay, so what you could done, you would wait for that sell, you would lower your buy stop order as price comes down, okay, and if they're going to sell, that's fine. Maybe you can put a sell stop order and see which one gets filled first. But in reality, when a bar 10 closes like that, chances are your buy stop order is going to get filled and you're up and running. So next target is 85 to 86 area. Okay, so if you want to take profit there as early as maybe 84.75, it should go a little, it should overshoot a little bit. We're 10 points, 10.5 points. So we should test 36.85. Bulls should not be taking profit here with this bar 11. This should continue to go up. That would be upsetting if they, I mean, they seem like they're taking some profit here, but come on. We need to be able to get up here. We got 2 magnets up there, the 1 hour EMA, and then open of the week. So I would expect continuation. Where I'm pointing on the Globex chart, this line right there, we should test it. But what if it comes down? Well, if it does come down, then at the 50% of the strong bull bar, it's also a breakout bar, okay? And also this cup and handle, and finally we have a nice breakout bar from this double top, right? So bears are trying to prevent this high to be taken out. And now, since we're still inside some kind of a trading range, it's basically a diagonal trading range. If we do come down, somewhere around the 50% of that bar, there are probably buyers waiting. But I'd like to see continuation into 36.86 at minimum. This has always been a resistance, but this right here, bar 23, is kind of an order block. Market makers are trying to test above it so they can get that money they threw out the window to trap some early buyers yesterday with that bar, because it's a bad signal bar. It's a bad buy signal bar. So market makers want to test at least one tick above that bar 25 to get all that money back. And that's that fight. So here we go. We're getting a continuation. We met my target at 36.86 and immediate profit taking with that upper wick. So everything I said so far is happening. Magnets are above, but I'm more interested in right here, this area, which is 87. We have a perfect double top with bar 7 high. I would not want to see a double top here. I would like to see continuation. If that bar 12 closes like that, it's going to get buyers right away. Even if it's a tiny little body, but if it closes at the high of bar 11 wick, okay, higher than where bar 11 closed, it's going to get automatic continuation. It's already getting it. So hopefully they are going to close this like that and not bearish to continue to go up to those magnets. Excuse me. 92. We just met my target on the Globex. We might continue to go up. In fact, we could actually go to 96.25 or maybe that line, dash line right there. All right, so it's still working its way up to the magnet, the last magnet, open of the week. Now, I'm no longer interested in this. They're going to use this as support if we do come down. This is what I'm interested, bar 20. Okay, so I think the bulls market is trying to reach there, but we're going to come down a little bit before we're going up, unless they surge very quickly. Right here, I'm going to put it right at the body. Look what we're testing. I don't know if you guys paid attention. I showed you guys this several times last week, maybe the week before. When I see these structures broke down, I look at the very first bull bar, but I'm not worried about the wick. I want to see overlap with its body, okay? That's when the bear gap starts to close. So bar 12 is overlapping, excuse me, with that bar. Now, can they continue to go up? Where does this gap ends? Right there with bar 13 body. Can the bulls push this further up? Well, there's a room up to here, so they could. And the gap will close completely up here. So that's what the fight is. But regardless, you should have taken exit order or some kind of scalp order. Majority of your contracts should have been scalped right there at the 92.50. We just tagged the open of the week magnet. So how are you guys doing over there? Hopefully you were not short and you have, gone long and made some money here. Okay, so I have really strong resistance up here. Okay. So if they're going to continue this, we could end up going up there. 3,700 is your round number, which is right around there. So now that we met, I'm going to put it right here. That's another possible overlap with bar 13 body. $95.75. And here's another way to measure. You see there's too much of a bear move down here, and the bulls started the swing. So I'm going to measure from this swing point about 40 points. That's it. We could end up tagging that right there. or 1 point below where the zone begins. So bulls are still pushing, but they need to close above open of the week. Some bulls are taking profit there. Some entered one tick above bar 12 is stuck, and they want to enter again at the 50% or 66% of bar 12 body to break even first, and then have their second entry contract from down here make money as price goes above bar 12 high. So I've got a scalping target, take profit target right there at the 40 point, starting 1 point below. I have a gap close, body close with bar 13. So we need a body overlapping bar 13 body to close that gap. So there's still room for bulls to continue up. Unless something violent happens here, but I doubt it. We have a breakout bar on the 15-minute chart and a pullback, and we're trying to get continuation. Possibly to this area right here. Let's see what the bulls can do here. Bar 7 kept you flat. Okay, so let's go over that real quickly because I don't want you to be stuck in a situation like this again, right? So I don't know if you heard me saying that earlier, Zane, Mikon. This is an area of interest, okay? This was a balance area. We failed to break below it, right? We did break, but we failed to get continuation. We went back above it, and then we became bullish some point. We came back one time. Bears could not sell. A bar like bar 8, if it's not getting any continuation, hence bar 9, okay, chances are we're going to reverse. This is also outside, inside, okay? 8 is outside. I believe 9 is inside. And therefore, if we do get a bull bar, the third bar closing on its high, okay, chances are we're going to go up, I said. And I was also looking for a second test. And bar 10 is the second test of the area of interest. This is where, you can literally put a 1 tick above buy order, or if you're advanced and you recognize what's happening here, lower that buy stop right above it as price goes and closes right there, okay? New bulls come in with bar 11 and it activates you right there, and you grab a couple of points, maybe half the ATR somewhere here, and leave a runner to go up to the magnets. So now I said earlier, if bar 9 closes down here, then I would look to sell into the next area of interest. Do we have that bar? No. Can you sell? No. You should not even be entertaining. Now you should look to buy instead. So you have to run this psychology and make a decision and not be sidelined. And that comes with experience. That comes with screen time, right? So you watch and learn. You listen to me and Brad and Al Brooks and Tim, talk about these. So once you start to hear yourself, or us kind of echoing in your head, you're going to recognize those levels. Okay, so don't beat yourself up for not being able to trade this. There will be many other opportunities. Where is the market going? Well, I said this 95.75 is important with bar 13 overlap body. Are we overlapping? Yes. Are we going to the 40 point? Yes. You need to take profit here. This is probably going to overshoot, but I would just pay myself here because we just tagged my zone. So this is actually pretty good price action right here. We're getting good continuation. $3,700 is the round number. We may or may not tag it, but I think we're trying to reach the bar 20 low or bar 20 midpoint, okay? But again, you know, I marked that area. I marked right that area. You really needed to take profit there. So. Can we now come down? Yes. If this bar closes and takes out the bar 13 wick with a bare body, we might. But the problem is that you're selling against, sorry about that, you're selling against 1, 2, 3, 4 bull bars, okay? So there might be buyers waiting underneath bar 13. Limit order buyers might be waiting there. So I am not going to be too quick to sell this. I have to wait for this bar to close and show me some kind of profit-taking acceleration and then more bears entering. Because if the actual bears won't enter, this isn't a sell. This is just profit-taking from the highs. And we could actually end up going right back up to the 40 point and even 5 to 10 point above the midpoint of this sell zone. Because bar 20, yet another strong bad buy signal bar. Okay, look at the size of that bar. It kind of tricked, okay, bulls buying into that, hoping they're going to test the highs and maybe go up to these highs. And they got stuck there. And many may not have a chance to get out, and they couldn't. Look, even if they try to buy here, they could not break even. So they're upset. And they want to see price to go to the low, to the mid, and to the top of that. So if there are limit order buyers here, that we could end up going up and testing that bar 20 range. So don't be quick to sell unless you see good bear momentum, okay? I don't see that momentum just yet. Now, bar 14 is a good, it's okay sell signal bar, but the body, I mean, I don't know. Wish that body was bigger, then we would have been down here by now, maybe right at the open of bar 12. But it could still sell. Bears are still trying to put that momentum. We need 3 bars at least, and you need those bars, bear bars, like stepping stones, like you're like a stairway, you're coming down, okay? So that's the momentum. So you want this. So those bodies are like closing down, like this, close down. This one has to be the 3rd bear bar, and it needs to close somewhere here to get this momentum. It's kind of important because there's still limit order buyers, might be underneath 14, 15, 13, really. And look, they just entered already. So, see, this is why I was worried. I didn't want to. I'd like to see 3 bars, 3 bull bars, bear bars if I want to sell. One of them much better close than any other 2, or 2 better close and 1 weak close. So I had no reason to sell. If I wanted to sell, now here's what I could have done. If I'm adamant that we're picking tops and this is a good place to sell, which is not, we have a sell zone up there, so we haven't really met the objective. What I would have done, I would have put a sell stop order right there, 1 tick underneath bar 13. And then I see bar 14 actually higher, I would trail it up 1 tick underneath 14. Now look what the market show you right there. We didn't get the 3rd bear bar. We didn't get that stepping stairs down, right? And we didn't get another low. Bar 15 did not fill you. So this tells me my sell stop order is not going to be filled, and the bulls are trying to go up to the 40 point and maybe go test 5, 10 point above, which is bar 20 range, right? So now I'm going to move this to the bar 20 body because I want to see overlap with 0225. And therefore, no selling. You just cancel that sell stop order. Well, yes, I mean, we are always in long, obviously. Now, okay, so why would we be always in long? Who's going to tell me? Which bars would convince me that we are always in long? Can you guys put the numbers? Yeah, as soon as I start picking up Ethan, he's like, oh, let me change my statement. Maybe she goes away. But this is good. It's 9 and 10. 9 and 10. Why? Because I'm looking for 2-bar combo above the EMA. I'm looking for a partial close above the EMA, strong bullish, hence bar 9, and a full open and close above the EMA. The body is completely above the EMA, and that's bar 10 meets the criteria. So that tells me we're going to break out. Well, thank you for bringing that up. This was a good exercise. All right, so we bulls are trying to overlap with bar 20 from yesterday's, bar 20's body at 0225. See if we can do that. But they need to close this bar. Okay, so that closed higher. That's not so bad. And let's see if we can continue to go test that prior bar's high, bar 15 high, and go test that 0225. I would take profit around here, guys, or 40, 45 right there. Okay, 45 is right above my target line, 0225. Okay, just unload some contracts, please. You can always leave a runner, but this is where you need to start shouting, give me my money. You see, we just came one tick close. One tick. Why? Because machines are trying to prevent that body overlap with that bad signal bar that trapped all the bulls in. They want to keep that gap open. And they're also over, front running one tick targets always. When you start the measure and put your target lines the way that I'm doing, mark, and then you see that price gets one tick close and you're like, I was right. I was right. I was right. You were right because you're consistently doing the same measurement, same charting. You're consistently running the same scenarios and you're recognizing the bars, and therefore your trading is going to be great. Look, they just went one tick above to fill everybody. And I did tell you to unload contracts there. I don't care if it comes down and then goes back up. Your job is to get paid with those machines. This is how I trade. You don't have to follow my trades. Obviously, this is all educational, and I'm trying to, share my knowledge with you. You do not need to follow. These are not financial, this isn't a financial advice for you to take these trades. I'm just showing you my best practices. So that was the statement of the day. That's a disclaimer. Good. That's the legal, what is the word? The most legal I could get. That's about it. But that's nice, right? I mean, to the tick, even gave you an extra tick to fill everybody and their grandparents' exit orders right there. 370225. All right. Now what? Well, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go see what's at the bottom of that coffee pot and be right back. I'm back. Looks like nothing much happened since I walked away. And again, you know, this was a great cuff and handle breakout. I don't have to point that out. We already kind of knew that was going to happen, right? Once that area didn't break with bear bars. So you could have actually taken your measured move target right there, or you could have said, that's not the one, I'm going to take this breakout. We still have continuation there. That's one way to do it. Or you could say, well, what about this? Can I put my stop here and look for a, you know, larger target? Sure, we could get that, but that's not how I would measure. This is how I would measure. For a bigger structure breakout, fake breakouts, and then finally we break out. So that is your continuation target. It happens to be so 40 point extra 10 point, and if it overshoots another couple of so we would get about maybe another 13-14 points from that 40 point. But first, the profit takers need to get out of the way, and then we might continue up to this level that I marked as resistance. Okay, right here we could continue, but we are in a trading range. Okay, so yesterday's trading range highs are a bit of a magnet. Okay, we're in a much larger trading range, kind of a trending trading range. There's also, see if I can, so that trend line becomes magnet also, but I don't know. Let's see. This is what I'm interested at the moment. This is what I'm interested at the moment. Now, we have 3 pushes. I like to see first push and the last push almost the same size. This is actually a lot larger than that. So now I'm thinking, is this exhaustion now? Could this be exhaustion? Because the last leg is a lot larger than the first leg. So now I'm thinking, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it up there. But let's just wait. The limit order buyers, now, where were the limit order buyers and why? Who's going to type it up? Why did they buy with bar 17? Going to type it up. Why did they buy with bar 17? Why did they buy with bar 17 at the low of 16? We have a breakout, the bull breakout, and bull pressure, and 2 bull bars. Both of them are closing on their highs. So chances are limit order buyers are waiting there. If you guys want to learn about this, okay, which bars are good limit order entries, which bars are good stop entries, and if you haven't done so, right, if you haven't joined, although you can't really hear me if you're not in the trade room, but say you just joined the trade room and you only have downloaded, you know, a couple of days or a couple of weeks, go back and purchase L. Brooks, okay, you know, recorded monthly recorded sessions. You can pick any month. You can get the whole year if you wanted to for a really discounted price. At the end of each live session, at the end of the day, L goes through bar by bar reading and explaining where are the limit order buyers and sellers are. If you really get that down, you can trade markets in any condition, okay? Once you learn which bars qualify and why they were limit order buyers bought it, you're kind of at the top of the trading range. So he might actually say it's a limit order buy, but you're at the top of the trading range. It's kind of dangerous, right? There might be also sellers. So, or these bulls are going to start to take maybe 1 point, 2 point below that, getting out, okay? But regardless, if you do buy it, you still have a scalp opportunity there. Okay, so you bought there. Market gave you more than 5 points, an extra tick to scalp. That's phenomenal. You can go, sure, hang on. Let me do that. You have to go to the brookspriceaction.com or brookspriceaction.com/rose. Okay, doesn't matter, whatever you have. Log in, okay, and then, hang on. Let me log in. Once you log in, then you're going to see something called subscriptions, okay? Now, click on that subscriptions tab. You won't, I don't believe you can see the subscription before login, so you have to log in. And then you're going to see current membership access. That's not the one. Underneath, join a group, okay? Non-member groups. So those are the archives. Like literally, you can get each month for $50. And then you get 3 months for $100. I think it's a phenomenal. So you have bundles here. It goes all the way down to January 2010, December 2010. You can spend $200 for the entire year. Having a library like that and listening to Elle, you know, explaining, that to me is a training on its own. That's how I learned. So I'm not, you know, telling you, I'm not marketing anything here. I really am sharing how I learned. And this is the only way, in my opinion. Especially, even if you skip the entire, okay, recording and go all the way to the end, and listen to watch Elle explain stop order entries and limit order entries, you learn a lot. So go to brookspriceaction.com, log in, and on the navigation area underneath the top banner, subscriptions, click on there. There are 2 drop-down menus. It's the second one at the bottom. All right, so wedge top, and you could see that we did not get continuation. We couldn't get above that line. So we're basically, this is a terrible overlap. So to me, this is a negative gap, okay? So this gap is still open. We needed a body to overlap with bar 20. Now, can the bulls try again? Sure, they might. They're coming down for a pullback. You have 2 bars though, bar 17 and 18 are really strong bear closes. I mean, not all of them, but just bar 18 is. Now, can bears get another leg down? Are we making a head, left shoulder head and a right shoulder here and a neckline? And can we break? And if we do break, then I'm gonna try to see if we can actually get down 50% of this leg to the EMA with maybe 2 legs. But right now, limit order buyers, we're underneath bar 16 and seems like the wick of bar 15, still buying. But I'm gonna see what they're gonna do here. If they fail yet again, we could get a second leg down into the EMA. There was a support there. Left shoulder, maybe they're trying to make the right shoulder, I don't know. But 2 bear bars, one of them is strong. We might go sideways and down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm watching how this bar is going to close. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I am here. Someone lost sound, but okay. He's back. Bulls are still trying to push towards that measured move target, but I'm also watching to see if this is going to fail last second, but it's an outside up bar at the moment. Bulls are trying to close that gap with a bull body overlap and get to the measured move target. So they're going to have to close a bull body right above 0225. And on the Globex chart, this is where they're trying to reach. The daily, I did expect this body to become a lot more bullish and longer and go test these highs, especially right here, at least. There's a gap there, okay? See that gap? That 2.5 point area? But I don't know. Bears might be trying to get their second leg. They might have gotten the second leg, but did they get trapped there? I don't know. I'm going to wait to see if this bar closes down here, then we have a stick sandwich for bears. But if the bears cannot close this bar bearish, then the bulls are going to try to get back up here. So I'm going to wait for this bar to close now, because this was basically a double top there. So if the machines do see a double top and end up closing bar 20 on its low, we could get an 18 bar reversal finally, at least to maybe to that gap area from the low of 13 to the high of 11, test, and then try to go back up perhaps. So I want to look to see if we can actually pull back and test the 85, 25. If we do come down there, we're going to bounce there briefly, but we might continue to go below that to this gap area. That right there. Okay, so bears want to close that gap, but I'm more interested in what could happen at 36.85. See if we can actually, if we do close this bar, we might get down to 36.85 very quickly. So bears need this bar 20 to close on its low to create that combo, fancy combo I talked about pre-market. Some bulls see a flag there. It could be a final flag because we have a triangle there. Okay, so and some bears want to trap these bulls because they know their stops are underneath here. So as the EMA comes around, okay, those bulls who actually bought here, they might actually run their stops and come all the way to the EMA. Maybe even swing it down, I don't know, but we'll see. So right now I'm interested in 36.85 area, but if this bar closes bearish, I'm going to move my sell stop order one tick below its low, bar 20, okay? And I'm going to try to get in. So I'm looking for, so there's 16 seconds left. I'm going to try to get in. So I'm looking for, so there's 16 seconds left. Because if it closes like this, potentially we could end up coming down. Okay. Looking for a initial 1-point scalp there. If this bar closes bullish, I'm going to exit out because that means I now have another inside. Now I have IOI, okay? So it's still a breakout mode, but I don't want to be stuck in something bullish. So there's IOI, okay? And it can go the other way. Plus it's triangle, and I'm already disappointed. So I'm going to try to sell at the highs here real quickly to see if I can actually break even. This is now a loss for me. Well, I haven't really hit close. I'm trying to break even right in the middle, right here. I sold again, so I'm hoping that this is going to come down and break me even because I'm disappointed here. It filled me, and then it ended up going right back up. And you're going to get this. So what can you do? So the best thing I could do, wait for price to go up, and I can sell the limit order highs, okay? And then expect a break even. So basically, I need bars to come down somewhere down here. So this was a bad trade for me, and I'm still trying to fix it. It still hasn't given me the break even, but it's getting very closer. I'm literally tad underneath 36.95, waiting. Okay, it's almost there. I think some bears are already getting out, and it's just as they get out, this bar is pushing higher, and it's not coming down to my break-even target. Just going to wait a little bit more because it's a limit order market. There might be some sellers at the close of this bull bar, and it could still give me an exit. I have to talk about my losers. You know, I can't be always talking about my winners. So here we go. Just a little bit more. Come on. 2 more ticks. My goal is to break even. I don't care if it comes down to my entry price. That's it. I'm broke even. With this bar, I just broke even. So as soon as I broke even, it just went up a little bit. But so what I've done was I sold, hang on. I sold underneath bar 20. So I was kind of looking for trap there with the double top, and it could still be it. It's just that I'm too spooked, okay? And I don't want to be in this trade anymore. And this should not have happened. And as it filled me, and it just went right back up. So what I've done, I sold here and I sold there, and then I expected a break even towards downside. So it came down and got me out. Now, there's still those who sold underneath here. They might be expecting price to still come down here because it is a triangle and we're still inside of it. So, but at this point, I don't care. I'm already out. Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's one person out there wins every day, right? So even the best traders, you know, institutional traders have losses. You have to have losses. So I do, you know, it is what it is. If I can manage it and fix it, that's great. I've done a great job. But listen, if I cannot fix it, it comes to the break even, it doesn't fill me or just goes up, you know, I have to hit the close. I have to minimize the losses. Loss is a loss, but if it's better if it's small, right? So it's better to lose $500-600 than $1,000. I can always make it back. Bulls are trying to get back up to that measured move, and then 3709 area. So you have high 1, and they're trying to get the high. They already got the high 2, but they're just trying to trigger it. Can this actually fail and come down? The breakout could actually fail, but we do have targets up here, guys. This, that. So we're still haven't broken out of this triangle. Bears tried once and twice, and they're failing. Bulls want a strong bull bar. What if we close a bear bar? If the bear bar closes really strong down here, then we come into this gap area. I entered into a shitty trade. That's what I did. Sorry about that. Basically, that's what it was. I sold too early. I thought it was a good setup, but listen, I called that, what did I call it? I called it a fancy bar combo. And like any other fancy bar combos and patterns, it will fail, and it failed. That's what I did, mind gap. It is now inside, outside, 18, 19, 20. Market is trying to decide either to continue its bullishness to the target, or it's going to start to reverse. So now you have IOI, OIO, okay? So it's a breakout mode. Where is it going to break out? Well, the short-term trend is bullish. So the bulls are trying to resume the trend to those targets. It's very important here because basically we're stuck inside bar 19. They're trying to break from above the high of bar 19 to get to the targets. Now bears want to trap the bulls here and reverse it down to the low of bar 19 and break out from the downsides. I thought we would already try and break out since we had two nice bars and we had a double top, but it just didn't work. So I had to exit out. All right, so the bulls are trying to break out and they're trying to get to their first target at 37.0450, but I don't have a breakout bar just yet. So weak breakout above the high of outside up bar 19 is not enough. They need to close a bull bar. Can they fail here? Can they get trapped? Yes. This is the triangle breakout, okay? So basically it could end up being the final flag, and breakout is breakout, and that's good enough breakout. These bulls can actually start taking profit. And then can we collapse right back in? I don't know, we could. So right now they're still trying to get to the 3709, and 1075 is the measured move target. So I basically got out right around here, 95, like one tick below 95, 94.75. I broke even right at the center of the triangle, apex of the triangle, and many other bears did the same thing. And then price just went right back up. So 0925 is target. Can we go above that? Possible, but I think there might be some profit taken and maybe resistance here. So because of 0950 on here on the Globex chart. So we might end up coming down finally. But I'm wondering if the bulls are going to keep pushing towards that trend line, which is just above. The bulls are going to keep pushing towards that trend line, which is just above. So 0950 is still scalp target. Will they be able to make it, or is this going to collapse? Now here's how it can collapse. Okay, so if that bar closes down here or somewhere here below its midpoint with a really long upper wick, that would be a really weak breakout for bulls. Then we might end up coming down maybe to this trend line that we broke above, or they're just going to keep going up to the target, which is 1075, which is 1075. Now, another reason why we're stalling here, because we're testing the midpoint of that bar 20. Goal is to get above bar 20. Okay, that's a really good close, so it's probably going to try to get continuation to my target 950, 0950, and then it might end up coming down to the breakout point. So we could pull back down to the breakout point from the bar 16 high with bar 23 body, and that would be 370275 or 0250. Buyers are probably there looking to get in again with a pullback. But we just tested my target right at the tick, 0950. We're almost there at the measured move target. I probably wouldn't have waited for a full measured move target to hit at 1075. I would have probably taken profit at, let me see, 1050. It actually went one tick above 1075. So everybody got filled at 950. 950 and 975 it hit. So my target was 950. If it goes one tick beyond, that's great. Everybody gets filled. Now, do I care at this point? 1075. The high of bar 20 is 1250. I don't know. I would not care for it, I think, especially if this bar closes bearish. That would be bad for the bulls who are still in their long. But now, limit order buyers waiting at the breakout point from the bar 16 high is at 370275 or 0250 area. They might buy this pullback and try to go back up again. But if we do breach and close a bear bar beyond 0250, I don't know, we might come down further. But it's still bullish. So they're buying the pullbacks on further, but it's still bullish. So they're buying the pullbacks. Eventually, I would like to see price come down somewhere around 36.94 to 36.90 area. We're still pulling down to that 370250. Let's see if there are buyers there. But if they do, okay, so it's bouncing a little bit, but if this bar closes bearish, I don't know, I'm not really interested because bulls kind of got what they were looking for. Now, if a bar like this, a breakout, if it's a final flag, because it's a triangle breakout and it's not getting continuation, that would make me nervous because this is where I said that we could end up coming down or to the apex once again. As the limit order buyers at 37.025, if they're not getting at least 1 or 2 point scalp, they might just get out quickly and then we could end up getting pullback, deeper pullback. Those who actually bought at 37.0250 are trying to make whatever the ATR is, which is 8.75. But I think this is just too high to buy. I would not touch it. So we might end up coming down to that deep pullback area I talked about. maybe test of underneath 23, maybe this right here, 94 to 91 area. Now, if we do get 2-bar reversal, that would give us a 2-legged move, okay, down to EMA possibly. Yeah, I don't like the way the bar 24 closed, so that's basically a 2-bar reversal. So some bulls might be accelerating to take profit here. Open of the week becomes magnet yet again. Now also remember, we are still in a trading range. Okay, so because it's a continuous trading range, open of the day becomes magnet. Okay. Neckline, so we have a double top neckline. Again, bar 19 low is the neckline. And many of the stops, these bull stops, are actually resting there, right underneath. Okay, what I was trying to do earlier, run those stops and play into those stops and sell, might actually happen here. In fact, we now have a possibly expanding triangle. So we could end up coming down to here. Stops are there. The bears want to run those stops. They want to come down, pull back, and then come back down to open of the day. If that's what they're trying to do here. I'm going to get rid of this for a minute. I'm done with this measured move. I don't care. You can mark it. I mean, we came very close to it, so I'm going to mark that as done. So 950, 1075, that's one an extra tick. All right, 2-bar reversal. Market sold either underneath bar 24 or the close of bar 24, and they're looking for continuation into this congestion area. Okay, but if they do break below with the strong bear bars, the neckline bar 19, what is it? Yep, bar 19 low becomes magnet, and then the gap. If bears close that gap, that means we could quickly get down to the open of the day. Now I also see something else here that I want to point it out. Okay, there's a huge wedge here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1 to 2, 3 to 4. We could end up coming down here if bears start to take control, but I don't know that. So here's, I can count this 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe right there. Okay, but that means bears really need to break this trend line at the open of the day. Okay, we could end up coming down here and bounce right up. So see this right here? We're back inside that channel. Sorry. It's not what I'm trying to do. Get out. Okay, so we're looking for A, B, C, D move down. Now, if bears cannot break this, we're obviously not going to come down to these levels. But there's a potential, another, let me see. Here's another one. And same thing, really, the same channel, no difference. Trying to find targets for you guys. Bears need to close this bar 25 as low as possible to get a sideways and a second leg down. I did say that we would end up coming down into this congestion zone and test that, and we just did that. So for the rest of the day, if the bears actually do take this over, second leg could come down here. So this would be A, B, C, D. or two-legged move down into this gap. However, if that gap closes somehow with a strong bear bar, we could find ourselves right here. So watching that, but we need to move underneath to open up the weak price. What can bulls do? Well, they could go back up and test the highs, and we could get a double top and another try perhaps. Or this leg is not down, we're not done yet, so we're going to keep going up to that trend line. But I want to see these bears get another leg down at least. Maybe come down and test. Let me see. So they're already testing the 15 points, and they're scalping the 15 point. Can they come down to the 20 point, which is right at the EMA? So let's wait for that second leg that bears might want to take. And then we could end up coming down to EMA or 90.25 area, or maybe a little bit lower. My stop was above bar 16 when I entered, so I tried to use that. And I was looking for going into that gap area or the EMA. So I sold before it came to the the stop. I sold more. And around here, around those areas, I sold a little bit here and a little bit there. And then I got a good break even pullback. I was a little bit scared there, but they have to come down to the break even. It went beyond that, so I had a really safe break even there. I was ready to hit the close. I did not want my stop to be hit, but it needed to come down to get me out first, and it did. All right, I'm still expecting this second leg down. So we just started the second leg. Happens to be a pullback also. Bar 26 high is a pullback. So we might end up coming actually down to 90.25. Let's see if they can finish this job. Or the EMA, okay. Maybe here, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe even 89.25 or 89.50 area is also doable. If they can accelerate this a little bit. The bar 19 low is the neckline. The bears want to break that. 3 bear bars, 2 of them closed lower. That's good sign for bears. Might come down a little bit more. So if you want to take profit at 90, 36.90, that's fine. It's just around the EMA. Or if you want to leave a runner because market wants to test that neckline because they know there are stops right underneath bar 19, and they want to run those stops, and then you might end up maybe expecting bears testing this gap area. If this accelerates and we close this gap, we're going to bounce, but we can find ourselves right here. It's still bullish, so bulls are going to try to reverse this as early as possible. So we're still in the second leg. Leg 1 pull back with 26, and leg 2. They already moved below bar 25, so that's still the leg 2. We just need to push this a little bit more. So to finish the job is right here. Probably we're going to bounce at either 90.25 or 90. some limit order buyers. There's 3 bull bars, probably limit order buyers underneath 22s trying to prevent for bears to close another bear bar here. I like to see continuation down. EMA is right there. Now, bulls are trying to keep the EMA gap open, but it's not. You see this mess right here? It's problem. It's problem for bulls. I mean, look at this. So we're probably gonna come down here, expanding triangle. So I'm expecting continuation. You may want to, again, repeating. I know I'm repeating myself, but if you haven't heard, I'd like to see these bears actually invalidate these micro double bottom with 25 and 27, and then come down and tag this 90 or 90.25. What if they can't? Well, this is still a second leg down. I mean, technically, bar 27 went 1 tick below the bar 25 low. That's the first leg's low, right? So technically, this is still a second leg, and market is trying to trap those sellers. I want this to be tested right there. So let's see if they can eliminate this micro double bottom and continue to sell into 90 or 90.25. But it's support here, obviously. You can see the support. That right there. And the limit order. This area. So we're going sideways a little bit. 3 bear bars are strong. So I'm not really excited about bulls here just yet. So I like to see continuation down. The only problem here for bears, take a look at the Globex. You see this bar? That's not a good sell signal bar. We had a similar one yesterday. And that was on, where was that? Oh yeah, that was on here. You see that bar? 63. Some try to sell that and it just went right back up. And I was explaining yesterday. But unfortunately, bears try to sell once and they're trying to sell twice here. So they might still get a little bit more sideways and down action here. Okay? Unless this bar now closes bullish and that ends up being a second leg trap. But the problem here, again, on the 5-minute chart, second leg trap is not necessarily right at the EMA. So is that a second leg trap? Probably not. So I say we're going to test 90 or 90.25. So I'm going to hang on to my short here. I sold the close of 24, and that's why I'm holding you guys here, because I'm in this trade. So I want it to come down, but it's not really, it's kind of giving me the signs of second leg trap, but it's kind of bummer because I like that trap to happen at the EMA. Bulls are trying to keep the gap open. Could we be making another head and shoulders possibly this time? You do not want to see bull bars closing above that with bull bodies. If they do, it gets invalidated and we continue to go up. So in order for head and shoulders to be activated, this right here has to hold. Shoulders to be activated, this right here has to hold. It gets invalidated when you get a strong bull close above it. Market is still trying to get back up here because this isn't a good sell signal bar. But I'm waiting here. If this closes, I'm out. I already scalped, so it's basically eating into my reward, what I scalped earlier. But look where we ended up testing. Look at the daily chart. So I put those there for you. That 3709 was the target. Okay, so bulls are actually trying to close that gap right there. You see that gap right there? So they're still trying to push further up. They're right at the threshold, trying to close a bull body there to invalidate this head and shoulders and continue to go up and possibly get a 1, 2, 3 wedge top this time with 16, 24 and a new push higher. So we could end up going up to 37.11. One tick, actually, I'm sorry, 37.1050 or 1075 was the measured move, I think, right? The originally, which I removed. So they might be still trying to get that. Or last minute in 17 seconds, we're going to end up getting a wick and the body is going to close down here. And if they do that in literally 7 seconds, if bears smack that bull body down, okay, they couldn't. So bulls are still in charge. They actually close the bull body. They might try to go up, I don't know, but this doesn't look like head and shoulders anymore. So I'm out. I just hit close. So they're going to try again for the wedge, 1, 2, 3, or maybe a double top before coming down. Yeah, you can measure from, if you're trying to figure out how much the market moved. So we're at the 10-point trying to take profit. They're trying to close a bull body right there, 1175, to continue up to the 14, 15-point zone. Okay, so basically, bulls need to close bull body above this line, this pink line, okay, to continue up. Otherwise, this is a profit-taking area. You could see with the upper 28 and slightly with 29. Now, if 29 somehow closes bearish last second, it could still come down a little bit, but it's trying to close a bull body above 1175 to get to the 13, 14, 15 area. So bulls are still in charge here. They invalidate this possible head and shoulders. You need the bull body. You don't want this wick breaching and then the body stops here. That's no good. Since we're not making new lows and we're making new highs, we're still bullish. This is where we're trying to get to, 1075, 1050, 1075. I mean, good for the bulls. There's a trend line there. That's also, this can extend all the way there. So we're still not done with this wedge, obviously. So I no longer need that. Possible wedge. We could overshoot, perhaps. So we are already at the 15-point profit take zone. If we do close above 1575, then we go to the 20-point. So now that bar is taking profit, you see? Right there, 14, 15. Right there, 14, 15. and making a decision where they're gonna, if they close that bar 3 ticks above 15, then they're gonna go up higher. Can we get a double top here and come down? I mean, you got 3 bull bars. All of them close really strongly high. So this is trying to go up to right there, or maybe even here, to that trend line that I put in an hour ago. So did we reach the 20 now? 19 to 20. 20 is right there. So let's see if they can push this a little bit more. Can markets still come down to open of the day? Sure. As soon as they close this gap, it is possible. And I think we might have already. Oh yeah, we did. Look. That's why I put those lines there for you. Market is still trying to break out and make new highs, which they just did. 4 bull bars, strong. Could there be a trap here? I'm looking at the hourly chart. Look at this gap right there. We might test this high, maybe make a double top somehow and then come down, but it's very bullish at the moment. So I trade the 5-minute. Now I'm interested in this wedge, which really didn't have a good overshoot there yet, but this is fine. So we came very close to that. Now some machines might be considering the low of bar 27 is actually part of the bear move down. So they might actually start to measure where the body opened. Okay, so where would that put us? That would put us around 15-point scalp still. So we'll still need to close somewhere there to continue further up to the new 20-point. So you have to also think of that. But at this point, I don't care. This is where I would have taken profit if I were to be long. And because it's kind of wedge, okay? And also, measured move target met. So you can stay in your long. They're trying to break above this. Here, let me move this up. So they kind of met the objective of going above that bar 20, but they really need to go 1 tick above 1225. So they're supposed to hit 1250 to finish the objective of taking all that they, put in the market. So if it goes and tags 1250, that's it. Objective is met for bulls. What if it doesn't? Can it come down? I mean, we made a wedge here. We need a bear close. We need a bear bar close for bulls to start taking profit. So they're looking at bar 31. Since it's not a bear bar yet, it's still going up. But some machines, as it gets closer to that, might be already taking profit. I don't know. But this is where I would start to think, if this fails to break out, accelerate upside to those levels or to that new resistance zone, and we end up closing a bear bar, we might start to see more bear bars. And now where can we pull back? Pullback can be somewhere around all the way down to 3696 area again. This area. I'm done with this. All right, so now we have a wedge. I'm now going to clean this up a little bit. I don't need to have it. I can see the channel. In order for bulls to sell to the midline, okay, to this channel, they really need to start to close bear bars and come all the way down here and break below it. Otherwise, we're never going to come down here. So we need a reason. So I'm no longer interested in this because I kind of see it already. This I am interested in. So if we do pull back, the pullback would be maybe around here. But I have no reason at the moment. They're still pushing. They're still trying to get that tagged. All right, so we went above. Actually, we not only tagged 1250, we actually went one tick above. So now, are we going up here? Well, it looks like it. But the bar started to get smaller. Look at the bull bodies. 28 bigger. Follow through, nice, 29. But the 30s start to get smaller. Still no reason to sell. The only thing that I'm seeing here, we're at a resistance. We're getting closer to the double top, possible double top. We're kind of overshooting, but not really. But this was really it. So if I were long, this is where I would have taken profit, 1250. And you can leave a runner to see where it's going to run. High of yesterday is getting closer and closer and closer. Getting closer and closer and closer. But I'm really interested in 1250 and kind of objective met right there. So if you do take profit there, that's fine. You just can't be upset if this continues to go up. See, machines know that, and they have enough room. They had enough room to claim that bar, which was kind of an order block, okay? And so that's why I said 1250 is kind of important. But now we're going back against, like pulling back against the 5 bull bars. Is this a good reason to sell here? We need a surprise bar. Bears need to put a surprise bar here to excite, okay, some bears, and then frighten some bulls, and then accelerate the profit taken, possibly. But even then, right around here, buyers are probably waiting. Maybe underneath 31, 30, maybe around this gap area. So in order to sell, really, you just want to wait for a surprise bear body. Maybe like as large as bar 24. Surprise bear body. Maybe like as large as bar 24. But look what's happening. There's another objective is done. That small gap is closed. The only thing that is left behind is that trend line. So no one's selling. All right, I am done with my session, everyone. But I'll be back because I want to trade a little bit more. So I'll take a look at the encyclopedia and see if I can post some charts there in the Discord for you guys. But we're bullish. So even though it's messy, but we're making new highs, we're not making new lows. So market is bullish. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, we do have a wedge here. Eventually, if we end up getting a strong bear close, like a surprise, we could move underneath EMA. There are probably still buyers are there, but be careful. Now, we could come back here and then bounce again. That could be also another opportunity to buy again. But since we had such big, trading range prior days, open of the day tick price becomes a lot more logical place to pull back. That's what I would think. Because look at this, 1, 2, 3. Those bear bars are problematic now for bulls, right there. All right. Today is, hang on. What is today? Wednesday. Okay, so today and tomorrow, no Brad, and then he will be back on Friday. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, but I'll be in Discord.